Hi and welcome back to another pronunciation lesson from English with Greg. Today we're looking at how to pronounce the G sound in English and specifically how to know when to use a hard G or soft G. Now, whether to use a hard G or soft G in English reminds me of when I was learning whether to use a soft C or a hard C in Spanish. And what I like to do, and a very effective technique that I used and recommend that you use, is to think of some very simple words that use a hard G and some very simple words that use a soft G, and use those words as a reference to help you know when to use each one. Because the rules are very black and white in this matter. So guys, the rule is this. When you have a G and the next letter is an I, Y or E, the G is soft. And this means that we pronounce the G like a J. J, 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 J. So, using my technique, let's look at some very simple words that have a G followed by an I, Y or E. And you only really need to associate one word for each of these mini rules to help you remember the rule perfectly. So, for GI, giant. Giant. A fairly easy, common word. Giant. For GY, gym. Gym. I'm going to the gym. Gym. And for GE, large. Large. You can even remember all of that by thinking of one simple expression. The large giant went to the gym. The large giant went to the gym. Okay, so here are some words which my students commonly mispronounce by using the hard G, 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 instead of the soft G, j, j, j. The commonly mispronounced words are original, original, digital, digital, manager, manager, gel, 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 knowledge, generate, generate, and exaggerate, exaggerate. So before we look at the hard G, the G sound, we should say that the rule for the soft G does have exceptions. Get, give, for example. These are usually short, common words which have Germanic roots rather than Latin roots. So as with so many things with English pronunciation, you can never be 100% sure, but I hope this lesson and these rules do help you have a good idea of how the G is pronounced if you are not sure. So we pronounce the hard G, which is g, 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 when the G is followed by any other letter that isn't I, Y or E. That could be a vowel or a consonant. So with the remaining vowels, A, O and U, we can look at these words, gap, gap, go and gun, to remember that if the G is followed by A, O or U, it is a hard G. And as I said, if the G is followed by any other letter, it's also a hard G, like English with Greg, Greg. And that's another very important rule with the G in English. When a word finishes with G, it will be G, G, a hard G, like Greg, leg, pig, big. I teach many Spanish students who have the tendency of making the ch sound in words like pich, bich, lech. No. Never, never, never. This sound does not exist in English. It's always a hard G at the end of a word. Pig, leg, big. the leg of a big pig. And finally, the G can also be silent in English in some very common words, usually when the G is directly followed by an N. So some common words where we find this combination of letters which makes the G silent are foreign, foreign, foreigner, foreigner, design, design, or assignment, assignment. As I said before, there are exceptions to everything, and pregnant does not have a silent G. Pregnant, pregnant. So before you go, I want you to write a comment on this video telling me an exception that you can think of to the rules that I have given you. I've already given you two, give and get, which, if you follow my rules, should be jiv and jet. Can you think of any more exceptions? If you can, write them in the comments. I would love to hear from you. Okay, if you want more pronunciation lessons from me, watch one of those videos next. Check the description to see how I can help you speak advanced English, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye for now.